Hello, everyone. This is Daniel Guys, the creative and technical director at EDFilms. I'm here for another unofficial Twitch stream. I'm back from working away on my trees. I guess just to give you a quick update, I finished my trees. Oh, what's going on? Something weird is happening on my screen. I just want to be able to see everybody. I can't see anyone. Okay, so anyways, what I thought we would do is we'll get back to painting this because I wanted to do a quick demo of using the PSD to 3D plugin with something that's more of a matte painting that we can bring into Maya to give it some depth or bring it into whatever. Additionally, I think what I wanted to, we'll work a little bit more on the brushes, using the brushes from the EDFilms store just to flesh out some of these details. And maybe we'll paint out the tree a bit, just get a couple pieces in there just to see how this is going to look. So I think it'll be fun to paint that tree and kind of figure it out because we've got some tree brushes that are cool, and we'll finish these rocks. We'll do a bit of snow, maybe even take a look at how we might do the river ground. I don't know. We'll just see how far we can get. We don't have very long. We have about an hour and 15 minutes to pull everything together, or at least just to do this round of stream, and then we'll see where we get to. Okay, so last video, we painted some of these rocks and did some basic details using our brushes. There's a couple little weird things in here, but I don't want to get too crazy about stuff. I think the one thing, there's a line there that's bugging me a bit. I think it's there. There it is. I'm just going to use the smudge brush to kill that off a little bit. Got like this little smudge tool I can... Just this one weird line that's throwing me off. Okay, so let's get into, we'll do this side. So if you take a look at the concept art, I kept it up here. This side's a little browner with bits of green in there. So let's paint this one in. We're going to do a similar technique that we did here. Now, this isn't 100% finished because it doesn't have all the proper lighting. It's a little bit flat right now, but that's okay. We're just trying to block stuff in for now. And part of that blocking in process is just getting the general light and ambient shade going on, and we'll deal with like really specific shadows and stuff later. Okay, so let's just put that there. So the next two pieces are those guys over there, and they have like a couple little folders here. We'll just put a folder there and put that up here. And then we have like a little snowbank layer, and we'll have to transition those nicely with each other. Let's doing this dumb annoying thing. There we go. Okay, so we can just, hey Perman, welcome back to the stream. We're here again, as usual. Okay, so let's start. I think this piece of ground here can use a little bit of green. So we're back into the ED brushes here, the Nature Mega Pack, and the texture brush. And for this area, I'm going to do something that can help us transition. Oops, I'm going to do something that can help us transition from the greens. And give us just a little bit to work with. This part is a bit closer. Well, it's not closer. This stuff on the right is closer to the camera than this stuff here. So I want to get a nice mix between my browns and my greens, just a little bit in this one. Pramod, what time is it where you're from? I'm just curious what part of the land your world is in right now. Okay, I think that's actually, this one's supposed to be a rock. I'm just roughing in really quick here with this brush. And I probably, in reality, this piece is fairly useless because once I get the camera in, it's going to be like this. I'm not going to be able to use much more than that. So I might actually bring these two up a little bit more so that I have a little more to work with when I'm putting them into the scene. And if I don't deal with this now, if I don't deal with these guys now, they're going to be a little bit harder to extend. So let's just bring this out just a bit to fix these guys. I'm a big fan of more rather than less, obviously, which comes with its own problems. Just turn leaves off for now. We're going to do the mossy clump, and I'm going to grab the alpha channel and make sure we're on white. Oh, it's 1 in the morning almost. Well, thanks for hanging out on the stream again. Okay, I make the moss a little bit smaller because it's supposed to be further away from the camera. I'm not going to get too crazy with like doing anything amazing here. It's just more to give us something. And then for the rest of it, I'll just use my lasso tool, bring it in here, swap my colors. Oh, I guess I don't have to. They're both white. There we go. And then let's just do this guy, this one, not this one, the next one under, which we haven't, yeah, we touched a little bit. So let's just get this one, and we'll do the same thing. We'll get like a little bit of this, maybe go a bit smaller here. Cool. And then let's do the mossy clump stuff smaller. Okay. There we go. Just want to end it off a little bit. It's easier to fix now and then just paint a little bit more than to try to fix it later, which will be horrible. And swap that and delete. So now we got more to work with. We're good. Okay, we're off to the races. So let's just get back into here, coloring stuff. And back to our texture brush. And we can put it to 50. I think it's at 100 right now. And let's turn our other guys back on because we want them to be able to blend together a little bit. This one I could extend too, but it's so far behind this object that hopefully we won't really need it. We'll see. Okay, so let's just, I'm turning off the foreground one. And let's just keep going here. We'll just do it 100% for now. We'll get it to kind of match this one the most. Be a nice transition piece from the front ground back to the... I'm very excited about this grease pencil thing. I haven't had a chance to play with it yet, obviously, but I am really into the idea of it. Oh, okay, put this back. So this side, I would be assuming would probably be a little bit warmer than this side. I'm just imagining, well, I did sort of put this foreground one in shadow. We can do more of that. But I do want to create a little bit of a transition to possibly slightly warmer greens over here. Maybe because there's some more sunlight hitting on this side. Even though it's still quite steely and cool. I'm not sure. I just want to like have some... I'm not sure. We're going to have to play with it. But I feel like the best thing to do is just move forward and plow forward. What video, Mod, did you send me a video? Okay, I'm going to cool off over here a little bit. A little bit cooler down here. Okay. Oops. I'm like tinkling on the... Okay, let's cool that off. And darker. I know it's a little bit hard to see at the moment, but we're going to come back to it in a second. As soon as I just flesh these out a little bit. Okay. I don't see a link. You might have to, it might not let you post links. Maybe you want to throw it in that folder that we have on the go. In the shared document folder. Okay, let's put a rock here, and this is a rock here. I'm going to let this one be predominantly a rock, because there's another rock right here. So we'll treat them as they're kind of one big chunk a little bit. Cool. Maybe this continues. And then we can put a bit more green and stuff there in a minute. Okay, and that would be sort of like this. Cool. And it's a little darker on this back side here, but not crazy. We'll put this at 50 now since we're kind of into this new mode. And this will be like a bit of green moss or something. It could even be a little more red on this part. But let's bring this here, like bring this down. I'm just kind of making stuff up. It doesn't really matter that much right now. Okay, and then maybe we'll go like this. A little bit of green here. We'll bring the green back, creeping up on the rock. Okay, cool. All right. So now we've sort of blocked that in a little bit. I want to save my highlights for my actual rock pieces, but we'll block in a little more. This feels a little like it should be a little more purple here. now that that's 50, maybe we can work that down. This would be bright-ish. This would be kind of bright. There's nothing really blocking the light there. So we would have like a lot of light here. And there's probably like bits of green and stuff on these rocks, which we'll address. It's all the same kind of moss. Eventually I'm going to put snow on everything. We'll put some snow on it and stuff, which would be cool. Okay. I know these painting videos aren't everybody's jam. People are more interested in the After Effects rigging and stuff, but you know, kind of got to do a little bit of everything on this show. Okay. So we've painted those rough rocks in. I might just do a little bit more of this next layer in front so I can figure out the transition before I get too committed to specific colors, because I've lost a lot of my brown. Well, I've lost all of my brown. I might want to get some of that back in there. I'm not sure. Just make a new layer. We might want to push some brown in there as though maybe this is dead, or who knows. Yeah, I don't see it, Pramod. It's possible it's not letting it come in. Okay, we'll figure that out, what that actually is in a bit. So let's do this underlayer. Now I'm going to paint this from here first, just so that the color transitions kind of work for each other. And then we'll come in and actually do the proper stuff. The thing that's cool is, I mean, it is Photoshop, so we can always like, can add more stuff later. Okay, so I gotta be careful here. All right, and then let's get the rock, the continuation of this rock. Now the thing that's gonna be important to remember is that because things are spaced apart, nothing's gonna hold together the way you imagine. So it can be really tricky to get your head around the idea that all your layers that you've drawn might not stick together the way you think, and that can be a little bit frustrating. Or you've painted everything and planned it very specifically, but because it's 3D and spaced apart, it kind of shuffles. Okay, and then so this is more rock here, more rock here. Let's just make this nice and dark to start with. I like that blue better than what we have on the top layer here. Let's just go here really quick and get a little bit of that in there. Okay. Let's put some down there. Cool. So I'm just tapping the brush, and that gives me a couple of little structures to work with. Let's go here. Trying to see how fast we can pull this off. Now I think on the rock I'll probably put some snow, which will be kind of tricky because the rock is so gray. The snow might not read very well, but we'll see. In amongst the little bit of gray amongst the bits of green and stuff on everything. Okay, so that would be like that probably. This front facing part would probably be pretty bright. Thanks, you threw it in there? Cool. Cool, man. Thank you. Let's make that nice and bright. Let's have a look now that we've kind of built the bridge structures here to make sure that the layers kind of work together. Let's do that. And there is room for green and stuff on here. So we'll just like kill this off for a sec and kind of get a sense of what's going on here. So this would be shadowed here because it's kind of away from the sun. I'm gonna just see if I can build some layers out of this, some structures. Okay, and then I feel like it would be taken over by moss or you know, whatever this brown stuff is. We'll do like kind of a half mix of it. Bring it up and on top of it somehow. Just kind of suggesting right now till we can really get in there and start playing. And then in here, maybe we better add another layer just to protect some of our work. Okay, there, and a a little bit of green here and here. And then let's turn on some of our other layers again so we can match this a bit. Now we'll go through after and sort of tweak the colors as we need to. So first step is this, obviously. Okay, we'll make this a little brighter. And we're going to put our layers in, and then next step will be to, let's just do this really quick. Next step will be to paint in some details, not too many, and then the next step after that will be to actually do the next layer. This is a lot to do, always a lot. Oops, brush eraser X. I'm just making this shape a little less redundant, repetitive, I suppose. Okay. All right, so we've done that, and that kind of gives us some structures. I think this top layer needs a little more light to the rocks here. They are light rocks. Okay, there we go. I guess I don't want to get too light because we want to be able to do some of it with the rock brushes. Okay, cool. Let's go like that for now. We'll put some green on it and stuff like that, but we'll get those sort of sorted. Okay, so we have the general structures. It's not as brown as in the painting. It's definitely become a little bit rocky, but we might push some of that brown back in on this guy in a second. So maybe these rocks on this one, maybe we just have a bunch of mud and dirt here because the moss has died. Jelovic, are you using the grease pencil at all for your project? Did you already tell me? You might have already told me. I'm just kind of blanking. But are you using it currently for stuff? Okay. So this is kind of like, I guess, would be sort of a dead patch, I suppose. Just to give us some variety here. Maybe there's like a pine tree right beside it that kind of kills off anything from growing. Let's just do this. Let's give this kind of a slopey feeling to it. Cool off this, so I think cooling it will, well, we could go into the purples for our darks on this stuff. Not sure. Okay, well, this will have to do for now. We're not going to get perfect. Okay, and then let's turn off this guy. We're going to just put that there. Let's put that there and just, oops, paint some of the lighter green here. Okay, there you go. Okay, cool. All right, that's fine. That's fine for now. I just want to get a little more gray on this. Oops. A little more on this rock. There we go. Okay, so it's kind of in the direct sunlight. We've got this one here and this one here. So we'll keep tweaking these, but I think now we just got to put in our detail pass and just get some flesh it out a little bit so it's not so mushy. So the next step here is to grab some of those previous alpha things we made. I think we can turn off this concept art for now. So we have our two alphas, and we can use those here to create what we want. So let's control click there. Let's use this one to start. So I'll transform it. And because it's a bit further away, I'll just scale it down a touch. Try to remember roughly, so it's about 80%, or 90% roughly. Let's get it down to about 84. So 85%. So let's go in here and just paint some little details to flesh this out a bit. Kind of good. I'm positioning this so that it's interesting. Whoops. Kind of want it there, maybe. Cool. Maybe a little lower. Great. Okay, and so we are on which piece? this one. So when I do this one, I'm making a new layer. And here we'll just put a little lightness, a little this. Bring it up just a touch. That's a little too much. Just history stepping back here. I think it needs to be a little more saturated. Our brush needs to be smaller. And we'll put it to 50 so it's not so edgy looking. Like, so it doesn't have such busy, complicated, rocky edges, I guess would be the right thing. Okay, we'll put a bit of that. Okay, and I'll invert it. And then in here, we'll go a lot cooler and darker. And let's just get in there. Maybe like, let's try a purple color. There. See what that does. Cool, that's kind of neat. Maybe not so purple. Let's desaturate that a little bit. Oops. Oops. I'm an idiot. Okay. There we go. And then I will also, we'll just brighten this little spot up here. Just put a nice little bright spot there. Okay. Cool. That gave us like some really high level of detail. So Pramod, you're really into it. Do you find it pretty easy? Like, can you actually use it for doing textures and stuff too? Or is it mostly just for drawing? Like, what does it draw on? Is it creating geometry for you to draw on? Or is it just like, I'm curious about the workflow, I suppose. That's what I'm getting at. Let's go like this. So I want to get some of this in here, and we'll keep this flow here. Cool. This should give us some nice detail. So I'll do a little more brights here. You can add a new layer if you want, or just keep painting. It depends on how like nervous you are about wrecking what you've done. Okay, I might bring this over top just to like add some, like this. It's just sitting in front of the rock. And I'll cool it off on the back. So we'll darken it and cool it. So there's some cooler colors here. Oops. We'll do another bright pass here. This one can be particularly bright. This little hot spot there. Maybe that'll be nice. I don't know. Okay, and then let's put a way grayer lightness on this side. Okay, and then we'll transform it some more. So select, transform selection. We'll just do another patch altogether. Be something a little straighter. You do know basics of Blender in order to work faster. Okay. And what does it feel like? What do you feel like they've ultimately designed it for? Is it for animators? Is it for textures? Okay, let's bring this like this. I can probably zoom out a little bit. I don't like being that zoomed in. It doesn't help with the workflow all that much. Oops, let's go back to 50%. Let's get some of this dark green back in. Don't want everything to get light, too light. And some of this brown back in. Let's warm that up a little bit, or not warm it up, give it increase its saturation. Let's see, let's go to reddy brown again. Okay. A couple of this, maybe we go brighter and a little more orange. So it's like the moss is maybe a bit dead. Let's brighten this up a little bit. Bit of a dead patch, I suppose. Not sure how this will look. Let's give it some contrast between the two and just maybe brown off in here a bit. Not loving that. Let's go a little redder. A little green, sorry, not redder, but a little more saturated and a bit greener. Hey everyone. Hey man. Hey David. Welcome back. Earlier when they launched, I thought it basically was kind of like hand-drawn animation, but yeah, it looks really cool. I've watched a couple of videos on it, and it looks pretty neat. I mean, I haven't watched anything really in depth yet, but it's a pretty cool looking thing. Okay, so I don't love the color we have here. It's pretty limey, so I might just like desaturate it a little bit, or we can push it one way or the other. Maybe we push it more to like yellows, which makes it quite a bit more distinct from here. Might actually work a little better. Well, let's see what we get. It's pretty detailed though. Okay, we'll just do a little more. Select, transform selection. I find this is a really good way to, if you kind of have your basic structure laid out, it's a pretty cool way to cheat, make your painting look better. Okay, let's add a new layer for now because I'm not really sure what I'm doing anymore. So for a really dramatic change like this, I usually increase my brush's opacity to 100. This makes it a bit easier to manage. Okay. Might even just go really dark on this. I'm not sure. Let's keep playing around. I might put some purple in there because I feel like in here it's kind of missing something. Yeah, I think it needs some purple or violet, whatever you call it. Okay. I don't want to get too contrasty. That's the other thing, is sometimes I have a tendency to push things too far to get, and I end up getting too much detail, which kind of distracts from the design a little bit. So I need to be careful there. Where are we at? 50%? Okay. And I might have to revisit the lighting on this one. I'm not 100% sure that we've done the right thing on the light. But we need to kind of embrace areas of contrast and areas of softness. Let's just put this really quick like that. See if that helps. Feels a little better, I guess. I'll darken this in a bit. I'm not sure how much of this will be visible. That purple is possibly a little too purple. Let's grab that sponge. Is purple in there? Yeah, we'll just sponge it off a little bit. Okay. I've seen worse. It's not the most horrible thing in the world. It's not my favorite, but it doesn't matter. Okay. Let's try to keep things moving, I suppose, would be the best order for the day. So we'll keep, let's just do another couple of these. Try to find like a nice flat kind of one here. That looks pretty good. Maybe like that. And we'll use it to just paint in some brighter greens. They're a little warmer. Just along these areas here. Yep. Do a little bit here. We don't want to go too, we don't need too much. Because this area ultimately, I don't think this area won't be seen really. Let's just grab some dark greens and push it back a bit. Okay. Let's go like this. We'll just a little lighter, a little grayer, a little cooler down here. Okay. And then I'll switch this up. Put a little bit of that lightness here. And then grab a little bit of that purple, really darken it, really kill off the saturation. Just put a little bit in there to give us some little pockets of contrast. There we go. That looks pretty good. Okay, and I think we probably need a bit of a harder edge along this rock. So we can just grab this alpha again. I know it's kind of a weird way to work, but it's like transform selection. I find it makes it easier for me. Obviously, this isn't for everyone. But I'm going to paint, let's go to this side because we've used that other side quite a bit. Just try to line this up a little bit so we can kind of do a nice little edge transition off this rock. What's the best spot? This is interesting here. Let's do this section right there. Okay. And we'll put it, where should we put it? I guess we'll put it under this one. Put it under. So here. Not sure what color this should be. It needs to be something that contrasts really well with the rock. So let's try like kind of a cool green for now. This is going under everything, so let's do that, and then we'll go like this, and we'll go, well, let's just see what that looks like. It's quite a stark contrast in greens. We can shuffle it this way if I press Control U. That's kind of neat. Okay, so that's something. All right. We'll give the rocks some love in a minute. Just want to finish the rest up here. Lots going on visually. Let's just turn these two guys back on now that we're up again, because I want to make sure that I'm balancing the detail approach so I'm not getting overkill, because again, sometimes, well, I don't know if I'm saying this again, but sometimes your technique will evolve as you're working, and you want to be careful not to like lose touch with the design that was happening before, which is something I can do quite a bit. I'll just grab one of these. I'll grab this again. Transform selection, move it over here. Just want to finish off some of this mossy stuff. Let's go there. Great. Kind of bring it along here a little bit just to wrap it up, and then we'll figure out where we're going with the rest of this. Make this nice and big, kind of like the dead patch of moss, I suppose. Let's brighten it up and make it kind of cooler, or grayer anyway. And maybe ultimately, maybe we'll end up putting snow in there. I don't know. Depends. It could also just be a patch of area that the snow can't get to. Okay, and then we'll just, let's darken it up a little bit. It's a bit too bright. Let's warm that up. Okay, that's okay. And then we could probably move it. And then go boop, like that. Just put like another little area there. And I'll just use a bit of this color here and just kind of put it in. There. That looks cool. Dead moss. A little bit of dirt and stuff. So then I think what we'll do is we'll just try to find the rocks a little bit. And then from there we can patch up some green on the rocks with like mossy bits. Although there's some here, so we should probably, maybe we'll grab this guy. Boot. Select. No, that one's not that mossy. We'll bring it down. We'll just scale it way down. And just find like a little spot to put some extra stuff in there. Let's go there maybe. Okay. And we'll go here. Brighten it. Warm it up a little bit like that. See what we can get. It's like a little bright green patch. Kind of tucked in there. And then we'll do this little spot and make it dark, nice and cool. I'll just drop this nice little thing in there. Okay, and there. And let's put a little light patch here. Oops, that's too light. Just there. I don't know. That's pretty nice. That looks good to me. This one, this green area here should be a bit darker. We could, I'm not sure where that is living, honestly. Oh, there it is. So we could just, actually, we could just enable this and take this green and darken it down a little bit and cool it off. Okay, cool. Okay, let's hit our rocks. And let's also just really quickly put this one in, because I want to see what we're going to see. We'll see a little bit of this. We're not going to see all of this stuff. We'll see a tiny bit of it as it moves, as the camera moves. So we'll probably want to put a little bit more orange in here, or some of this brownie stuff. But it's nice. I mean, it's like, it looks sort of cool. So we'll also sort the, yeah, we'll put some whites on the dead moss too. Good idea. And we're going to figure out what to do with the rocks so that we have like a nice, I don't know, we'll figure this out. But I am testing right now to see how things lay over top of each other, which so far is okay. This one is missing some lights, like it's pretty flat, so we're missing some lighter areas. I think we'll come back in and do that, because I think I found a bit more of it On this one, we got some nice lights and darks in it. So you'll notice that the amount of contrast is pretty good on this compared to here. I'd say like just off the top of my head, let's just do this really quick since I'm thinking about it. On this one, we might want to go like, bring the brush up here, grab this green and then go like, pop it way up and go like this. And just put like a little bit of, uh-oh, something's happening. Let's put a little bit of stuff here just to pop it forward a bit. I think it's the same thing up here. Yeah, just a touch. And even if it's more cool because, or like more grayed because it's not in direct sunlight, just enough to give it some extra body. And let's have a look and see what do we have here. Okay, just bear with me for a little bit here. Lots of little layers going on. I mean, we could use overlay on top of it as well. Might be a noob question, but what is the difference between tool and brush? Oh, it's not a noob question at all. I actually just sort of figured that out more or less recently. A tool comes with a lot of settings. So if I were to select a tool, it's going to, like if you usually, and this was like, I think tools are becoming, the difference between tools and brushes now is becoming a little more obsolete in the latest version of, in the later versions of Photoshop, because basically what happens now is that when you create a brush, you see that little brush right beside it, right up there? That means it's like, when you press this, it's going to force you to select a brush, a specific type of brush. And a tool is something similar. If you have tool presets can have color attached to them, opacity, various other settings, where a brush might not come with an inherent, it didn't used to come with an inherent opacity or flow. It may have a flow, but you couldn't include color, you couldn't include a lot of other options. So the tool is more like if you have like idealized like settings that you really like on your brush or on your whatever you're using, it will carry all those over when you click that tool. Again, it's a little bit different now because I think Photoshop is trying to essentially outmode tools. I think they're moving past tools now and not making them so much a part of the workflow. So I think all that's kind of changing. Like brushes and tools are now closer together than they've ever been. I think. I could be wrong, but that's my impression. Okay, so I just put a little bright spot in there, which kind of helps, gives it a little something. Not sure, it might be too bright, but we can always tone it down if we want to. Okay, cool. Okay, so we'll do our rocks, and then I guess like, I mean, we could go on and on forever. So I have another 40 minutes to do this. I really have to be careful of getting too detailed because it takes too much time and we don't have that much time in the stream. So let's do the last of these foreground mosses because we're in that mode, and then we'll do our rocks kind of all at once. Okay, so a little more boring stuff. You can make as many of these kind of tile things as you want, especially if you're finding they're getting a bit repetitive. I'm going to put this one here. Okay. Actually, let's bring it a little bit, transform selection, bring it a little bit more down. I'll make it a little smaller. There, okay. Put that there. This is this one, yes, okay. So first things first, let's bring some of this yellow in there. We had 100, no, we're at 50. The brush is too big though. Okay, maybe the brush isn't too big. I don't know. I don't know anything. Okay. We'll inverse this. A little bit of yellow in there, but then we'll also start suggesting a bit of this reddish color. Dark red is starting to come in. The dead patches. Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's kind of, It's becoming less of a thing. Anyways, yeah, the brush stuff. Good question. It is a good question because a lot of us don't know. I mean, I didn't know forever. I still am kind of sometimes not 100% clear on the difference either. Okay, got a little blue in there. All right, let's do some more. I'm just going to get a tiny bit of detail in this foreground chunk here since we're probably going to see it more. So let's grab this one, get something really different, transform, bring it down. Bring it here. I'm going to shrink it down quite a bit. Just want to get some like good variety in here. Actually, let's go this way. Like that maybe. Okay. So let's zoom in. All right, and in here, let's go with like really flat for now. It kind of feels a bit shadowed for some reason. We don't really know. I don't know. Maybe there's a good reason for it. I have no idea. Okay, and then we'll just darken this off and cool it a bit. Just for that side. It's too green. Okay, that's cooled. Okay, great. Okay, and then we'll inverse this and then just do a little bit of like lightening of the green just in here. Cool. Okay, and then here we'll do a little more of that. Whoops. Control-Shift-I. Get a little more of this going on. Let's cool this green off and darken it a bit. This is really not sun-facing, so it's kind of cooled off a bit. Okay. Let's go a little more. Let's even go a little more clear on this. Make sure we have a nice solid shape. Okay. I don't want to get too contrasty, otherwise it'll get super distracting. Let's try one more one here. We'll do just a couple more. Sorry, it's so boring. Painting is boring to watch. Okay, so I'll put this one in. And we'll just add just a little bit of yellow in here. I'm thinking yellow anyway. Just to get that dead stuff going. Just that brown in there, like that. Browny green. Excuse me, and I'll darken this off. Maybe we'll make it go more that way. Just see how that feels. Just really crush her down. And I guess since we're kind of near this green, let's just kind of blend it a little bit better. Okay, so that's a pretty strong shape, which is cool. And let's go select, transform selection. Just want to bring a touch of something here. There, and we'll go like this with this one. Just taking a bit of the greens from over here, putting them over on this side so that they transition well. Here we'll do this, we'll go like that. Like that. It's already 1:30. Oh, okay, Pramod. Thanks for hanging out so late. It's nice to have some consistent viewers like you guys. It's great. I do really appreciate it. Brings up the fun factor. Okay. Not sure if I don't love what happened here. Let's get this back to something. Cool this off and go really blue on it. Even darker. I find this stuff really hard. Really struggle with this stuff. Let's go more in this realm. Can always erase it off a little bit too. We're not going to see, we probably won't see that anyways, but I'm not a huge fan of what's happened in some of this area, but it doesn't matter. We don't have to go crazy everywhere, so that's good. It's all fine, I guess. I mean, this foreground one could use a little bit. When I'm just looking at everything here. This one here could use a little bit of something on these guys. So let me just grab here. I think the level of detail is going to go down as we get further away from the camera. So this kind of stuff, this really nitpicky, detail-y stuff isn't going to happen everywhere else. Just mostly is going to be here because that's where we are in the scene. We're super close to the camera. So let's just put this in. I feel like this would be pretty solid. Put a little shadowiness here. Let's go like this. I'm inverting and then just dropping some darkness over here. Cool. Oops, I want to go a bit brighter on those guys so they really stand out. Let's put a little dash of pink in there. Cool. Okay. I guess there's just sort of this section here, which again, we can go a little bit light on the details as it's the borders of the project. So we don't have to go crazy, but we'll at least resolve it a bit. We'll put a tiny bit of greens here. We've used this section quite a bit, so we want to be a little bit careful. Okay, so let's put some stuff in. Boom, boom, boom. I don't want to get too light. I'm getting too light at the moment, but I'll push it back down in a second. Saturate that more. Let's get redder, more saturated. See how it's looking. Okay, might go inverse this. We don't have to inverse. We could just go down one. Inversing sometimes makes things look a little, you might get a weird edge on stuff. Let's put just some of this dark in here. There. Cool. That looks pretty good. Nice little details. I think we're close to finishing this area. Just one last little one, and then I think we'll stop on those guys. Okay. Just one little patch here for this rock. Just another one of these little green bits. That brown back in there. Okay, and I'm just gonna like pop a little highlight of orange in there. And like a little dash of pink again. This will be maybe darker. That might look garbage. Pink and brown, weird colors to smash in. But it's fine, cool. All right, let's do our rocks. Okay. So if you're drinking the mic, I know I hate that sound myself. I'm sorry about that. Acceptable. Okay, let's grab our rocks. We've built our rocks like we've done before. We just have to pick what colors we want or what kind we want. So just going into the rocks, guys. I think the negative ones are the one we want. I can't remember at the moment. There we go. Oh, we're on the wrong thing. We're this one. Okay, let's just turn off this background layer so I don't keep messing up. Okay, we want this one. There, that looks pretty good. Just erase that off a little bit. Zero eraser? Okay, there we go. Okay, and then let's do another one. I don't know. Let's find another negative one. That is a very busy rock, but it might have some useful spots. So let's not reject it outright. I think that one's a little too busy. Let's do this one. Also, I think we're way too bright. The contrast is too much. Not into it. Not into it. It's not bad. Let's just erase all this. Putting my eraser to 0, shift 0, so I'm 100% on everything. Makes it a bit easier to get rid of it. Let's do a positive rock, and we'll do some darks really quick. Let's see what we can get in here. The lights, I think we're tapped out on our lights. So for this, I think I'm going to create one new layer. I really like making the rocks. They're super fun. So a lot easier. Okay, and then we'll just erase this off. What do we have here? Let's find what we have. Barely used anything of that one. It's something here I like, but I'm just going to put this under, and we'll call this lights rock, because I don't know this one's the dark one. Probably a tad too dark. There we go. 70%. That's kind of cool. Cool, I like that. Okay, let's erase let's erase some of it off. We could technically put it under some of the bushel things if we can find it. There, that one goes under. Great. Cool. That's a pretty cool rock. Let's just do this really quick. And I think we need to get a little bit darkness down here somewhere. There, that fixes that. Where is this? Thank you for your compliment, 2D 3D tutorials. Hello from Azerbaijan. I don't know how to say that. You can let me know how to say your name. That's amazing. Well, welcome to the stream. I'm sorry it's not more interesting. Okay, we have this big rock here. Can we use this one for anything? I've got some big round ones. I've also made some less round ones. Oh, that's not the right one. Okay, let's do this one. Too dark, I think. I just want to get some, this is way too much. Just want to get something here that we can work with. Okay. That creates something that's all right. We need some green there, actually. Let me just do this really quick. We need a green. Is this here? Okay. We need a green. We just need our regular, this brush for a second, and I just need to get a little green in there. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, great. So let's get back to our rocks again. These are positive rocks. We need this one. So let's do this one. Okay, I'm going to just take this blue and darken it a little bit. Okay, thanks for checking out the stream, guys. That's cool. Man, it's like international, like crazy. That looks terrible. There's something here. So let's erase. Oh, you know what I'm doing? I'm doing something really dumb. We're just gonna do this. I just needed a new layer so that I can erase off really easily. Okay, because we don't want that stuff. Oh, let's get our eraser less severe. 50. There, that's cool. Now this edge should be brighter. There. Kind of cool, I guess. We'll come in with a brighter rock color after. Now, is this one? We have one more little rock, but it's pretty tiny. Bonk. Let's just erase all this off. 0, shift 0. Get out of here, get out of here. Cool, that's cool. I like the look of that. That's neat. Oh, thanks for the compliment. I'm way more you know what? It's nice of you to say that. I certainly don't feel that way. Not that it's a bad thing. Like, who needs egotistical artists running around, really? Okay. That's cool. I just need to because this is a sort of a backlight. We don't want it to be too bright. Sort of like the back edge of the rock here. And this, maybe we can go a bit more green on that. I don't know. Let's go lighter gray green. that little piece in there. Maybe this little part there. Cool, that looks good. Okay, so we got some cool rocks. Probably need some more contrast in this area here. So let's see if we can grab, I'm just gonna see, I need a little dark in there. I might just have to come in with a brush and do that. Like I don't wanna be too silly about that and not just put in what we need, because I feel like we need some darker in there. There's, for like a little tiny rock corner, it sure is, it's awfully bright. That might be good there. Let's just erase this off a little bit here. Cool. Okay. And we'll just get our texture painter back. I'm just adding new layers like crazy because I don't even care. I'm out of control. So I feel like I just want to get some dark in here. Like this is areas where there just be so little light popping in there because it's all getting eaten up by the shadows. Let's go down here. I'll try and keep this on the rock layers themselves. Let's darken that and then there a little bit. But the texture brush works really good for rocks. So you can kind of sculpt them out a little. And like I said before, don't be afraid to use your eraser as almost a brush to help you work your details or your whatever it is you're doing. That feels a little better. Cool. I mean, I don't want to get so uptight that no problem, Danny, you're right. If we are, I agree. You can. I'm never. Yeah. I think I get tired of being unsatisfied all the time, but at the same time, I enjoy the struggle a lot. I'm always trying to get better at painting and stuff, and it's sometimes a miserable affair, but at the same time, okay. I like that a lot. I want to be careful not to lose that. That's a cool one. There we go. I want it don't want it so bright though. Cool. Okay. I think those are pretty good. Probably could use a little dark in there or a bit brighter on this edge. It's kind of neat how it came over like that. So these brushes, if you guys ever use them, they're tilt brushes. So if you don't have a brush that supports tilt, they're a little bit harder to use. So you'll need to rotate them manually, which can be really annoying. So if you don't really have something that can support tilt, I wouldn't mega recommend the brushes that I've made here because they'll drive you crazy and they'll never look quite the way you want. Okay, that's good. So that piece looks pretty give me a second. Having a little bit of a moment of doubt here. I feel like we need something right there. I'll erase this off here. Kind of helps a little bit. It's a little too dark, but it's almost there. Okay. Jeepers. Okay. Could work this forever, but I don't want to get keep saying I don't want to get too crazy, and we've already gone well past the point of being too crazy. All right. Brush this. Oh. Okay. Emily's not going to make it to a sprint meeting. Okay, cool. Just fixing that a little bit. Let's just erase this off here a bit. Cool. Okay, that's good. Let's do the last rock layer, this one. This layer is definitely a bit lacking in inspiration, especially down in this muddy corner. But again, we're not going to see it. If we see even that much, I'll be surprised. I really don't ever planning on seeing anything down there. So it looks horrid, but I think we'll just not worry about it. And the nice thing is, if it is terrible and it's like needs to be fixed, we can very easily add to it. It's no problem. Okay, so rock stuff. Here we can either do cores. Let's see what we get. I'm going to play a little bit first before we get too crazy. And for these ones, I have my flow set really high. If I get my flow too low, it doesn't give me enough contrast on the rock. That's kind of cool. Oh, and just like so you know, on these brushes, all those rocks, these rocks are hand painted. They're not actually photographs. I just painted them all by hand. That one should not just be a negative like that. Oh yeah, it should. Okay, I'm going to use this one more time. All right, this is a positive, so let's go here and dunk. I wonder if I use this one, go positive, and just turn it really, yeah, let's turn it really white. Go like that. That works pretty, maybe it works good. I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know. There's something there, but it's so very dark that we can't really see it. That's okay. Cool there. All right, and then I need a bit of darkness. Well, I don't know. We got lots of darkness in there. I'm not sure what we need here. Let's try darker. That's very dark and very blue. Not desirable. That might be okay if we erased all this off, but I'm not sure. Could be a little too much. It's very, very dark. Let's just see where is it. Yeah, we don't really need it. It's not helping anything. Don't love this rock at the moment, but let's keep going. Moving along. Okay, let's take this one. Just use this one for everything. Brighten that. Brighten that. Looks cool. Possibly a little too bright. Possibly not. Let's have a look, see where the moss is all sitting. I might be able to I might just do this very bottom layer for most of these new rock pieces because it'll be under all the moss, which makes it easier to manage. We don't have to like do so much to make it work. And this is a dark rock, so let's go like this. It's a little too dark. So long, Pramod. Well, thank you for hanging out. Really appreciate it. It's nice to have you about. Good luck with your sleep. I hope it's amazing. I'm just checking to see if I can get, if I should be greener in my, or if I should be, let's try going browner on our darks here. See if that helps. Too brown, too much saturation. Getting a slightly different rock every time. Oops. That's gross. I'm disgusting. Jeez, this is really not easy. I'm not finding the right color. Something in the blues, but not that saturated. Almost. Is this like its own layer? Yes. Let me just see if I can get this. What level of darkness do we need and what hue? Needs a bit of saturation. I mean, that's probably good. Thanks, Pramod. Thanks. I will not forget to view the link. Let me grab something. Disgusting human being. Okay. Bear with me. Oh no. It's hard to bend down and pick up stuff because I have this wire attached to my face. Just to turn this. Vile. Okay. Sorry for being revolting. All right, let's get, that rock looks fine. Let's do this one. This one's pretty good anyway. Oh, that looked fine. And let's just do this now. And we'll just get kind of a neutral sky color and do that. No, we just, maybe it's too much the same of that we already had. That's cool. Okay. This rock could use some face stuff. It's too bright. They're pretty huge. You can get away with quite a lot of size on these things. That doesn't look very good. This is probably way too white. It's way too white. Okay. All right, that looks okay, I guess. Erase it off a little bit. Okay, and then let's see, grab one of these guys for our darkness and see if I need more dark in here. Or maybe we just use brown and push the brown down a little bit, see what that does. Not sure, not sure. Let's go really dark and saturated with that brown. That kind of does something. I'm trying to figure out a nice way to transition on these browns from the rock. Not sure about this. It's not enough contrast to really read properly. And it could, maybe, let's just try lightness. That's not, there's something interesting about that being light. I don't know. Not loving it. Sorry guys, this is super boring. Okay. Okay, and now I'll get like a really dark. Oh, we've already used this one like a million times. It's this one. Right, that's inverted, so we need dark. I don't mind that. There's something cool about that. Just tone it down a little bit up here. Cool. Okay. Well, that was obsessive. Sorry, guys. Let's just do this. I just want to try something really quick because I'm curious. Whoa, this one doesn't have any tilt on it. What's going on? If you notice anything like that in the brushes, just let me know so I can fix them. Okay, we're never going to see that stuff anyway. I was just kind of curious to see what the brushes would, anyways, who cares what I wanted to see? Let's just keep moving. Okay, so that's good. Not a huge fan of that brownish color. Where did we put that? Here. But what I can do is just do this. I just turned on like to hold the opacity of that layer. And I'll select this brush. And we'll just try a couple different things to fix that up. So there's the layers. I'm just like, let's try maybe the sponge and try to kill it off a little bit. Maybe it's the saturation. It could also just be a little too dark. So let's turn this off. If we keep that on and we start erasing, it'll just push it to the background color. Possibly just too dark. That's too dark for sure. Okay, and I'm probably going to grab just this rock brush one last time and put like a light edge here. Not super light, not super bright, but just a bit. A little more than that. Cool. We'll just erase off this a little bit here. All right. I think that's pretty good. Let's see how it transitions between this one and this one. A little weird. Maybe good, maybe bad. I don't know. Could probably use a little more brown in one of these, but actually I kind of like how it's like a nice little shift. It's a little bit of its own piece. Okay, so what I wanted to do before we got too far along is I want to just fix one thing. Sorry, I'm the worst. I can't help myself. I want to brighten up this rock just a touch. Booch. There. And probably, let's just triple check. Make sure we didn't miss something up here. That's cool. That looks neat. I like that. All right, let's go for it. We'll go with it. Oh, one other thing I want to fix really quick. Sorry, I'm the worst. I don't stop fixing things. I just want to bring this little pinky color here. Just a little bit of something like that. And this here on these little guys here. Cool. So we'll probably have to put snow in eventually. I haven't put any obviously yet. But I mean, it's really in forests and stuff. Like you'll get patches where there's zero snow at all. But anyways, we'll figure that out. Okay. I don't want to work too much more of this. Okay, good. So this is like our little foreground patchy stuff here. So we can finish up with that. That's all. I would say that's done. I wouldn't go much further than that with that stuff. The next piece is this, which is where we start getting into kind of like snowy stuff, I suppose. But first, before we get into that, let's do a quick, because I got to stop in a few minutes. Good God. Okay, so what I'm going to do is maybe we'll bake this out, part of this out super quick to Maya. Oh, you should see these are my trees. I finished the trees. They'll look pretty good. I'm gonna round out some of the foliage a little bit. There's no lighting on this, but I think the trees worked out pretty good. They're just like flat. Same kind of technique that I used when I'm doing After Effects. And the panels are angled down a little bit because these trees are higher than the character all the time. So everything's kind of slightly angled down. So anyways, that is that. Thank you. I'm pretty happy with them. I think they look pretty neat. And I mean, they're black and white for now. I just have to rate them. Yes, I am streaming, but it'll be 5 minutes. Just bear with me for 1 second. I probably won't have time to do this thing that I wanted to do. I'll come back, actually, once we're done the meeting. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna stop this stream for a minute, and then I'm gonna come back one more time, and in that time we'll do like a quick export of these layers, just so you can see a little bit of the technique behind where this is all going and how it's going to work. I think we did a pretty good job. I like the coolness on one side and the warmth kind of coming through on this side. It has like there's something kind of working here, even though it's not precisely exactly like what's going on here, but there's a feel of it. We're not totally lost, and there's lots of nice variety. So I'm gonna pop away for a bit. We're gonna have our meeting, and then I'll come back on from like 4 until 4:30, just to like show you the export, and then hopefully next time we can just keep working a little bit further on this. And I'd like to get to the tree or something at some point, and some of the distant trees, because we have some really good. I've got some really cool tree brushes, like pine trees and stuff. I'm not sure if they're on the store yet, actually. And we have rocks and mountains and stuff, but I have like, maybe I don't have them on the store yet, but I have these trees, and I've got like little groupings of pine trees and stuff like that we'll be able to use over here, kind of in the distance. And they're cool. I mean, they're kind of built, like they're a bit repetitive, right? So you've got to kind of work them all together. Well, they're somewhere. Oh yeah, they're here. So, those are terrible pines. They're not terrible, but they're a very different kind. I have a whole bunch of pine trees. Oh, here they are. So these ones are those, but they all get clumped together. And then if you just kind of mix up, see, we'll get to put those in. You kind of got to mix them up a little bit, and you can stack them together too. So if I make a nice small one, I can go like that. So I got kind of a unique tree. And if I don't like the top on that one, I'll just go like this and put a new top on it, so that it doesn't look too much like that tree. Oops. These are trees I used for Let There Be Light. There. Okay, and then we do pretty much the same thing as once they're done. We just like start painting color inside of them. But I won't want them to be that sharp. So I think I'll probably like come back in after and sort of scrub a bit of them away so that they're not too clean. But it depends on the kind of work you're doing. If you want it to look like an oil painting, that's different. If you want it to look kind of like this kind of thing, it's a bit different too. The other option is you can control select it, and you could do like a select, modify, expand, and like expand it by 5 or something, and that'll muck it up for you a little bit. And then you can just like we do this solid. Okay, and then you can kind of soften it up, filter, blur, blur more, and I'm just doing it to the actual alpha channel itself. So you can treat an alpha channel like a other layer, and then once you paint in there, it looks a little bit better, and we can even like continue to muck it a little bit, or use different kind of blurs on it. Anyways, so we're gonna do stuff like that on this one. So I have these like crazy high resolution brushes of these pine trees. All right, guys, I'm going to take off for a few minutes for this meeting, and then I will come back very soon. So I'll see you in a bit.